whatever player of the game stuff and so on, is his decision making and how well it's improved basically every year. From the first game where it was a bit suspect, and really the second game and on, it's just gotten better and better every week.
Yeah, he's gotten better, and his decisions are excellent. He's done a very good job of overcoming that first game, and we're very proud of him.
The only thing that sometimes they still look like they're having a little bit of trouble as far as a communication issue is concerned are on some of those RPOs, as far as the communication between quarterback and running back, who's got the ball.
Yeah, that's happened a few times. Anytime you run a run-pass option scheme, you're gonna have some of that.
All of them.
Well, it's an advantage, and of course they're double covering Trevor Cardell. This opens the door for other kids. Colby Baggett has really come on. He's had some great catches. He had great catches last game. A.J. Russo, Grant McAtee. We've got several that are tough to contend with.
On the defensive side, we still, just like the weeks before, it seems like our line and that front seven have really been dominant.
Yeah, that first half in particular against Rockbridge, and our front really showed up. We had a little breakdown at the beginning of the half, but then we solidified that. Overall, very happy. And they're going to have to play well tonight. That's Staley's claim to fame right now, is they are a power football team. They run the ball, and that's something we're going to have to contend with.
That's always been their bread and butter, is their running game.
It is, and they've got a quarterback that's very mobile. We're going to have to contain him. If he's not handing off the ball, there's a good chance he's going to run a draw or a sweep, and he's tough. 12 is a tough quarterback.
And then the other thing is, of course, being on the road is always, is always tough.
Yeah, and we left We left at 4:10 to get up here, and we hit that traffic on 4:35. And it was, it's just something you got to deal with. I'm glad we left early.
Yeah, hopefully no bus lag to deal with today. So, any injuries?
No, we're injury free.
All right. What do you want to call the keys to the game then?
Well, it's going to be we have to stop the run game. We've got to make them throw the ball, and we've got to contain the quarterback defensively, and then offensively we've got to have ball control. I think in a game like this, and when you're on the road in a stadium in a hostile environment like Staley, ball control can kind of knock down their hype. So that's the plan.
I'm curious to see how well the team travels this week as far as the crowd is concerned, because it is not the original date of the game. It's tough because it's a school night.
It's a school night, but it's Thursday night football. Our kids are fired up for tonight.
All right, should be fun. Good luck.
Thank you, Joel.
All right, that's Coach Vinny Careswell. I'm Joel Becker, and this is Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Well, welcome out live here to Staley, North Kansas City. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm as the Lee Summit West Titans will be taking on the Staley Falcons this week in a 4-0 versus 3-1 matchup. And I tell you what, this is probably the biggest measuring stick that the Titans have had since the first week of the season. Hey, Coach?
Joel, where are you?
I'm hiding.
Where are you, Joel?
We're out on the patio.
Oh, you're over there in the corner. You got good little seat there, don't you?
I can almost see. Am I in front of you, or are you okay? Okay. All right, so the teams are out at the middle of the field getting the coin toss taken care of. And, obviously, Coach, you've been in this situation before where teams have had to move games up or change game schedules, at the last second. You heard the coach talking about it. How much of a disruption really is it?
No, it is a disruption because, again, they had to turn yesterday's practice into their Thursday practice. Well, with this being a short week, they combined a Wednesday practice with a Thursday practice, so it went a little longer just to make sure they got everything in. But, no, it is. It's a little bit distraction. I tell you, a nice relief that the team's going to feel. They get tomorrow off.
Well, that'll be nice. All
They
right.
get tomorrow off.
And they
so.
can feel like they're in the NFL, Thursday night football. We got the
right.
Staley Falcons against your Lee Summit West Titans. The Titans will have the football when we come back for the opening kickoff right after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Spec Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Cryotherapy is an amazing recovery tool for athletes at all levels, and Casey Cryo in Lee Summit has the latest technology for athletes to recover in a quick and natural way. 3 minutes and a state-of-the-art nitrogen-cooled cryo chamber helps aid muscle soreness, joint pain, raises energy levels, and more. Casey Cryo also offers Normatec compression therapy, which massages sore muscles and joints to get toxins and lactic acid flushed out. Recover quicker at Casey Cryo in Lee Summit, just off 50 Highway between Chipman and 3rd, next to Genesis.
Welcome back out to Staley. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm, Lee Summit West and Staley. 4-0 Staley Falcons. And they won the toss but deferred, so the Titans will get the football to start back. And, of course, last week, a 99-yard kickoff return to start the game for Brock Coble.
Yes.
How about a repeat?
Let's have another repeat. But it doesn't look like they're standing on the 10-yard line, so the coaches must have been watching the kickoff. So
well, there is a little bit of wind, although it looks like it's to his back right now based on the flags, but you never know that. This is Braden Walker with the ball teed up on the right hash mark, Coble on the right side and Taylor Wilson on the left. And like you said, not much of a kick. It comes down to Coble. He bobbled it but takes it at about the 15, trying to get around the left side. There's a flag down. He gets out to the 25, but this one's coming back.
It looked like holding right there on the edge.
So the Titans will most likely start from inside the 20-yard line. And we'll see what Sammy Cooper and company can do. So how difficult is it when you have been playing? Rockbridge is a good team, but they're 0-4. Blue Springs South is a decent team, but they're,
they haven't won yet either.
Yeah, and and no offense, but Fort Osage is not a good team.
No.
So it's been a few weeks since they've really had some decent competition, and that was a sloppy game.
Very.
So, they need to up their level of play. Sometimes that's difficult to do when you've been used to one thing.
Well, that's one thing I'm sure Coach Carswell made sure that they weren't going to relax this week.
Slant pass on the first down play. It is caught over the middle by Baggett. It should be good up near the 25 for about 8 yards. Let's call it 7. Second down and 3.
Got a little info from Kevin White. He said that Staley is really beaten up.
I've heard that as well. So we'll have to see who actually plays and who doesn't. Pistol formation on this second down play, and it will be a give. And Wilson up the middle, nothing there. Got back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe to the 25. Let's give him a yard and call it 3rd down and 2. But I tell you what, that front four of Staley is different from the front four we've seen the last few weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Got some size up there.
So they come out with twins on either side. Wilson, and from the shotgun, back to throw is Cooper. He'll roll, he'll throw. He's got Wilson wide open. He gets the first down and more up the far sideline and forced out of bounds as he got to the 37-yard line. He needed the 27, got 10 more, so a gain of 12. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Titans on this opening drive just underway here at Staley.
Tell you what, Cardell did a great job blocking there on the outside.
And so the Titans are able to get a first down on their first possession at least. See if they can build on that. Split backs on either side of Cooper, and he will give it to Wilson trying to get around the end. And he is forced down as he got across the line of scrimmage up near the 39, pick up of a couple, 2nd down and 8. I noticed they got the lit down marker, but not the lit yard to gain marker.
Well, I tell you what, I talked to the chain crew for Lee Summit West this past weekend, and they don't care for it.
Pistol formation with one back to the right of Cooper. Twins on the left, 2nd down and 8, and it'll be run pass option. Cooper avoids one person, throws, and incomplete. He was looking for Baggett. The throw went out of bounds. There is a flag down. Looked like an offensive lineman ended up landing on top of a rusher. I don't know if they'll call that holding. That is what I think what they are calling. It may have been something else. But this will cost the Titans, assuming they take it, and set up a second down and about 19. Maybe even longer because, of course, it's from the spot of the foul, and it seemed like it was.
It looks like Curtis threw that flag there.
So we'll call it 2nd and 19 after the penalty. Titans in the shotgun. Wilson to the right. Back to throw is Cooper. He'll throw one, airs it out down the far sideline. It is incomplete. Cardell, boy, there was contact there.
There was.
That sure looked like, like a pretty good grab on Cardell right as the ball was coming down.
It sure did. And honestly, the official looked like he was in great position.
Yeah, he was. Bill Warner was throwing a flag from home. So it'll set up a 3rd down and 19. I tell you what, though, that was if there wasn't that contact, that's a completed pass, I do believe.
Yes, it is. And I tell you what, he even slowed down to catch it.
Yeah. So 3rd and long, pistol formation. Twins on either side. In a stack. Back to throw is Cooper. He's got time. Now he'll roll to the left side. Eludes one man. Then he throws down the far sideline. He's got a man, McAtee, who got spun around and couldn't come up with it. There was actually another receiver in the same general area, and that was Russo.
And you know what? I didn't see an attempt from either one of them to really go after the football.
Right, I'm not sure either one really knew who was supposed to be the target. And so it's going to set up what ends up being what is going to seem like a 3 and out. It isn't because they did get the first down, but with the penalty, they're basically back where they were when they started this drive.
And this is going to give Staley some good field position here.
Cooper standing back at his own 14, kicking into the wind here. Spiral kick will come down, take a Titan bounce, and it was fielded by Staley player, apparently calling a fair catch at the 38. Didn't even know you could do a fair catch off a bounce.
No, not at all.
So why did they just? What was the point of the whistle blow then?
Well, I think he saw some heat coming on him, so he backed away from catching the ball.
But he caught it.
No, it bounced, and then he caught it.
Yeah.
He caught it?
Yeah, he did catch it, and then they blew it dead.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why did they blow that play dead without a tackle? Can you call a fair catch and when the ball bounces like that?
Joe, you got me there.
I don't know.
Is this 2 weeks in a row you've gotten me?
Oh, batted down by Devin Force on that 1st and 10 play as we got to take a look at Parks. It's kind of interesting that this Staley team, known for throwing, and Dawson Parks goes back to throw on the first play and ends up throwing a batted ball. Anyway, now 2nd and 10 for the Falcons at their own 38. 2 men in motion across to the left side. And it is a give. Mitchell up the middle. That's Mylan Mitchell, who will pick up about 5 and set up a 3rd down and 5 going over left tackle. And there's a Titan slow in getting up. That's Glasgow. A little gimpy, but he gets up on his own power and starts to jog off.
Garcia and taking on Glasgow on the tackle. It's 3rd down and 6.
9:22 and counting here in the first quarter.
Was it Glasgow or was it number 6?
I don't know. I thought it was Glasgow, but I could be wrong. At any rate, from the pistol on this 3rd down and 6, back to throw. Parks throwing, swing pass. He's got a man, Mitchell. He'll get the first down and more. Forced out of bounds. I would say it was Glasgow because number 6 was the one who made that tackle.
Right.
And he'd have had to come out of play if it was him.
That is good for Staley Falcon.
So like Lee Summit West, the Falcons able to convert on 3rd down and prevent a first drive 3 and out. Getting into Titan territory. And it's going to be Parks keeping it. Run pass option play, and he kept it himself, going off right tackle for about 4, 2nd down and 6.
Brought down by Chase Hammond.
Gorgeous day for football.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. My goodness. 20-minute half? No, 15 good.
Parks throws left side, intercepted, picked off by Cahill, coming up the middle of the field from the 35. Boy, he was slammed down, but it looked like almost an elbow to the head there on that tackle. Cahill seems okay. I think he had a little discussion with the officials about that hit.
No kidding.
But when all was said and done, that was unfortunately for the Falcons, a receiver just fell down, and an easy pick for Cahill.
40-yard line.
We'll take it.
First punch in the turnover battle goes to the Titans, and they get good field position back up at their own 40-yard line. Cooper comes out with trips on the left in the pistol formation, and it's a play action pass, swing pass out for Baggett. Tried to make a man miss, was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard on the play, 2nd down and 9.
Play didn't develop very well there. I think one of the receivers missed a block.
On the 2nd down play, it's Cooper calling his own number. He weaves himself out, and he's in open space down inside the 35, 30, 25, makes another move inside the 20, down to the 15, heading toward the far near sideline, pushed out of bounds as he got inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Titans. Sammy Cooper with a 50-plus yard, almost 60-yard run.
That's the Sammy Cooper.
56 yards.
That's the Sammy Cooper we saw last year.
Absolutely. Remembering what it was like to be a receiver. 1st and goal. The Titans get up to the line quickly from the pistol. And the give. Wilson, right side. Did he quite get there? They're waiting for the indication. I think they're going to call him down at the 2-inch line.
And Mark, Joel, you do too.
Yes?
Curtis Whiters, whenever he officiates against us,
yes,
because his son played for me, it's like he doesn't give us an inch.
Yeah, you're right about that, because that's all they needed was literally an inch to get into the end zone. 2nd down, pistol formation again, and a give. It's going to be Cooper himself, and getting to about the same line. And it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Here comes the big package.
Titans trying to get 7 off of a turnover here. Under 7 minutes to go in the 1st quarter.
They had 12 in the huddle.
Scoreless game. Play clock down to 15 as they come out to the line. Snap, Cooper, touchdown. Followed that big package right across. And Sammy Cooper from 2 inches out gives the Titans the 6-0 lead with the extra point to come. 6:42 to go here in this 1st quarter play.
Big package looked good right there.
It's the first time we've really seen them do it like that, where they just punched it in. Cole Stewart out for the extra point. Cardell to hold. Meisberger to snap. Snap back, ball down, kick up high and wide right. He had distance, but he hooked it off to the right side. So for the 2nd week in a row, the Titans miss an extra point. It is 6-0. 6:42 to go. 1st quarter. We'll take a break and come back with the kickoff after this on Titan Football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Don't trust the biggest investment of your life to a part-time real estate agent. Trust the #1 team in Lee Summit and the entire state, the Rob Ellerman Team. The Rob Ellerman Team is the #1 real estate team in Missouri and number 12 nationally ranked in the U.S. with $1.5 billion in career sales. They are your real estate resource for buying or selling. They get you moving. Call anytime at 816-304-4434 or visit therobellermanteam.com. That's 816-304-4434 or anytime online. The Rob Ellerman Team, a proud supporter of Lee Summit Area High School Athletics.
Welcome back live out in Staley. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm. Stewart approaching at the 40-yard line, and he squibs one down the right side, taken by an up man at the 15-yard line across the 25. 30, still on his feet. 35, stumbles ahead to the 40 and gets out to the 42-yard line. Great return.
Great return. A lot of missed tackles right there.
Yeah. Looked like, I think that was David Brooks who had the return.
Brought down by Jackson.
And we'll get a second look here at the Staley offense. They moved the football in the first series, but then, of course, threw the interception.
This is going to be a good old pounding out game tonight.
Looks like it. May make it go quick, though.
It could.
We'll kind of have to wait and see. Parks from the shotgun pistol calls his own number right up the middle on the quarterback keeper. Good job by the front seven again of collapsing the hole. He did get 2, but it'll be 2nd and 8. You know, we've talked the last couple of weeks, Coach, about the impressive nature of the front seven, but they're going to have much more of their hands full this week.
Oh, they will. They will.
Did a good job on that one, though. Again, the pistol, twins on the left. Now they move. Now they're going to see some
movement up front.
Yeah.
On Staley.
It was not the 2 men that went in motion, but instead it was the right tackle next to him. When they went in motion, he flinched, and that'll cost him 5 yards. Turn the 2nd and 8 into a 2nd and 13.
False start against the Pelicans.
Now that's interesting. They were at the. Okay. Anyway, the ball's placed at the 39-yard line, and on the 2nd down play, another give up the middle. And good job of pursuit there. Titans are having a little bit of trouble on the initial tackle.
Yes, they are.
As Mitchell, I believe, was the carrier again. But they have at least done a good job of staying with the play.
And doing a great job of swarming to the football.
It's a pickup of a couple, and it'll set up a 3rd and 11. Twins out on the right side this time. Rolling that direction is Parks. Now he's looking back the other direction, trying to set up a screen, and not a very good throw. It's a great catch by McLeod.
Great catch, but great job by Glasgow for hunting that out.
Well, what was nice about it was, and I believe that was actually Grace, by the way.
Number 8?
6. I'm sorry. I got the binoculars. What can I say?
God dang you.
But anyway, it was because the throw was so high that it gave him that chance to sniff the play out like you were talking about.
He even said it too.
What?
It was Glasgow.
It was 8? Okay.
Yeah.
Punt. Takes a great Staley bounce, goes inside the 10 and out of bounds. So, great punt, bad field position for the Titans. We'll see what their offense can do here. 5:19 left to go. I think he's wrong too, by the way.
Oh, we all love it when Joel's right.
I'm always right. What are you talking about?
I know it, damn it.
It's a curse.
Hey, we're not live, are we?
We are.
No, we're not either.
Yes, we are.
On 810?
No, not on the radio. But
yeah.
On 810 Varsity.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to preempt Thursday night NFL football for this game. Can't be positive, but we'll see. Ball was placed down. Boy, they got a great spot.
I tell you what.
That looked like it went out of bounds at about the 6.
Curtis did not help us.
And they put it at the 2. Boy, out of his end zone, back to throw is Cooper, making the catch, but not getting much farther.
And you know
was
what?
Wilson.
And that's the tough thing, too, because that official, Curtis, running down the field.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He gave us a bad spot on
Yeah, like I said, about 4 yards, and that's a big 4 yards when you're talking about inside the, going from the 6 to the 2.
I tell you what.
2nd down, about 8. Gutsy call, though, on 1st down to throw out of the end zone.
He sure did.
Gave it to Wilson. He'll get past the 5 and up to where the ball should have been placed in the first place. And it'll set up about a 3rd down, and let's call it 6 from there. Clock down to 4.5 minutes here in the first quarter. Titans on top, 6-0. Would be nice if they could at least get a 1st down and change this field position a little bit.
It would change drastically and be a great thing.
Toss sweep. Here's Wilson trying to get around the left side. He eludes one man, gets up to the 10, but he's going to be shy of the 1st down, probably by about a yard or so. They've tried to string plays out a couple of times now, and it doesn't look like they're having a whole lot of luck doing that.
Right.
Yeah. Ball carrier.
You're talking about Staley, correct?
No, I'm talking that the Titans on offense have tried to,
I see. String it out, so get Wilson out on the edge.
right.
Got it.
And they haven't really been able to get him in
No.
space, so to speak. Cooper's going to be standing in his own end zone.
Once again, going to give Staley good field position.
Well, and he's kicking into the wind, although it's not a really brisk wind. That's the good news. Good snap. That's important. Oh, they came after him. He got it away, but I think they got a hand on it. Not much of a punt. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. It took a Staley bounce and was down at about the 26.
Yeah.
But great field position for the Falcons. And I do think somebody got a hand on that football,
I think so.
just based on the way it came off of his foot.
The Falcons will start from the 27-yard line
So
of the Titans.
we'll see. Dawson Parks and company with their best field position of the game. Not even just starting field position. This is their best field position of the game. And they're starting here. They put it down to the 27. Man in motion, and it is a jet sweep trying to go around the right side with some pretty good speed. Gets around the corner down inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line is Shelton.
Great speed. My goodness. He got to the edge and he was gone.
Raymond Shelton. I think it's actually Ramon Shelton. And yeah, he had, boy, he turned those jets on, didn't he?
Boy, he did. Woo.
That's why they call it a jet sweep, right? So it'll be first and goal for Staley at the 8-yard line. Trying to take the lead in this one, down 6-0. Man in motion again. This time they give it up the middle. And pretty good coverage there as the give was to Grace.
Yeah, that's another thing. Staley's looking at that. Nobody honored the quarterback when he handed it off. So
Brought down by Justin Vincenzi and Wyatt Ramsey.
Second down and goal. They gave him about a yard. So the ball's on around the 7. Pistol formation. And now we get movement. False start called against Staley. That's the second time they've given up 5 yards for nothing. Stops the clock with 3:25 left to go in the quarter. Titans on top for the moment, 6-0, but the Falcons certainly threatening here. Second and goal. Penalty puts the ball outside the 10 to about the 12. Just inside the 12-yard line. Twins on the right side, one man out way on the left. Now a man in motion to that left side. And it is the quarterback keeper again, Parks, and this time they did.
did a good job of honoring that.
Yeah, although he didn't fake a handoff.
He didn't do
He just
any of
went
that stuff.
straight out. And it'll set up a third down. And this is obviously what you want if you're the Titans, put him in third and passing situation.
Yes.
He has already thrown an interception today, although to his credit it was more because his receiver fell down. Third down and goal from the 12. Back to throw. Parks looking, throwing left side, incomplete. Threw it over the head of his intended receiver, which was Grace, and it'll set up a fourth down. And here comes the field goal unit.
I was going to say,
You take points.
you got to take them.
Yeah. There's always the possibility of a fake. Do you realize it's been since 2013 that we did a Staley broadcast?
Has it really?
It has. We played them last year, but we didn't broadcast the game.
Oh, that's right.
This will be a 27-yard attempt, and it is blocked. He literally kicked it right into the line. And so the Titans escape with the ball back
Very nice.
and hanging on to that 6-0 lead. You know, when you kick it into the line like that, it looks to me like they're putting the ball down where it hit the line. I guess you don't get it at the 20.
I thought you did.
So did I. Well, do you want to call the referees up here and ask them?
No kidding. Well, Stompoli's the white hat tonight, so he's kind of the head man of Kansas City officials.
Guess he knows.
I guess so.
2:22 left to go here in the first quarter. Titans on top, 6-0, 1st and 10 from their own 14. Empty backfield. It is a toss, and Wilson hit in the backfield and knocked down for a loss back at the 10-yard line. They were trying to go for that jet sweep themselves, but too well covered by Staley.
They got penetration upfield.
Titans trying to go with pace here as a quick snap and a throw, and it's caught by Baggett, and then he dropped it. So an incomplete pass. He was hit right as he was catching the ball.
Yeah, he took a heck of a hit right there.
Yeah.
Pass intended for number 15.
And it'll set up a 3rd and long. And the Titans potentially going to have to kick a punt out of their own end zone again if they can't convert something here. Clock stopped with 2:01 left to go, first quarter. Pistol formation, Twins on the right, one man on the left. Cooper, Staley shows blitz, man in motion, back to throw. He thought about throwing, he's got a rush, now he eludes one man, he'll tuck the ball down, he's got to get some yardage, manages to get back to the line of scrimmage up at the 10. And it's going to set up a 4th down and long, 4th and about 14, 13 or 14.
Did you see a middle screen starting to set up right there?
That's what he was trying to do, but he thought better of it.
No, he did a great job because Staley set back on it.
But once it wasn't there, he didn't have another outlet, so he just had to wait until the rush came to him and try and scramble around it. So for the second straight time, he is standing inside about 4 yards deep in the end zone. They came after him last time. Here they come again. He gets the kick off. Line drive kick bounces, and it is now taken, hit, and eludes two, but finally is tackled back at about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Joel, once again, tonight we're struggling on tackling.
On finishing the tackles.
Yes.
Returned by number
So
3.
that turned out to be a pretty darn good punt for Sammy Cooper under the circumstances.
Reese Cardell with pass.
Bit of a line drive punt. It's unfortunate it just bounced straight up in the air.
Yeah. Could have gone over his head.
Yeah.
Gives a little bit more.
Could have been.
Well,
And like you said, while they did have a trouble finishing the tackles, they did get out there in a hurry and at least stay with it and weren't no return yardage. Parks from the shotgun. And it is a give. Mitchell up the middle. The pile just keeps pushing forward inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. That may be close to a first down. I believe they gave him one.
I think they did.
I could have sworn I heard a whistle before the play ended. But they let it continue to go for a good time after that.
Good 5 yards, wasn't it?
At least 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
1st and 10, down at the 36. And it is a give up the middle again. And again, a swarm tackle becomes necessary after the runner gets out of the first tackle. That was Mitchell. But 3 Titans meet him at the line of scrimmage, no gain, 2nd and 10.
Glasgow's got to leave the game. Helmet came off.
Glasgow.
Half a minute to go in the quarter, which is a little significant, by the way, of course, because, it changes the wind. Man in motion. It's going to be the quarterback, Parks. He's hit, lost the boost.
Come on.
Football picked up by Cahill. He's back the other direction down to the 40, heading down the sideline. 35, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Titans.
Yes.
Andrew Cahill bobbled it a couple times, finally secured it, and then went down the near sideline.
Great job by Fredrickson.
Great block.
Just getting in front of him.
Yeah. Just got in his way
Yes.
to keep him from being able to catch up with Andrew, because I think he would have.
He would have, yes.
Andrew's not a slow guy, but it took him a little while to get up to speed there.
Well, I think he was still trying to look for the ball.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It took him a while to just... How far was the fumble return? It was like 60 yards or so. Stewart out for the extra point. Missed the first one. Interesting that they're going ahead and kicking again. Stewart's kick is up, and it is good. 4.7 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, and the Titans strike again on a fumble recovery, so they've got 13 points off of turnovers, and it's 13-0. Back with the kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Welcome back out to the Kansas City Northland. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Bain, Lee Summit West, and Staley, and the Titans on top of the Falcons 13-0. All 13 points coming off of turnovers. A 65-yard fumble recovery by Andrew Cahill for a touchdown.
Joel, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Would you have gone for 2?
No. But I was going to talk to you about it. You think that Sterling and Vinny learned something from Baltimore this week? Perhaps? As the kick will go out of bounds. Let's see if they make him kick it over, if they just take it at the 40. I would imagine that's what they'll do.
Or are you thinking it was too early to go for 2?
Yeah. I mean, what I was going to say is that, and this is something that would have applied in the Chiefs game as well. Now, clearly, Harbaugh in that game played like a scared coach. He thought he was going to have to get lots and lots of points, so he felt like every point was important, and that's why he did.
That's exactly right.
But one thing that you do tend to find in football games is when you do miss an extra point early, you spend the rest of the game chasing it.
Yeah. And that's what I hope doesn't happen to the Titans tonight.
Right, and so that's I think it's a good sign that they didn't try and go for it. So they are going to make them kick it over, it looks like. That's an interesting choice. Because they did put the ball, is it at the 35 or 40?
35.
Yeah, 35. And so now they're going to kick it from the 35. Yes, they are kicking into a little bit of a wind. And the first few times they've kicked the squid, and they did have a pretty good run back one time. But I don't know that you can bank on the kick, on getting a field position better than the 35.
I know, not unless they're counting on their guys.
Maybe they've been watching the way we've been tackling today. So Stewart with the ball. Again, now on the 35-yard line to the left, but about halfway between the center hash and the left hash. The left-footed kicker will squib it.
Get him.
And it goes off of a player and out of bounds. Okay. So this time they should get it where it went out of bounds because it went off of a Staley player first, and it will be inside the 35-yard line. So choosing to make him re-kick is costing him about 3 yards.
Sure is.
But I tell you what, could have cost him a lot more if that ball hadn't gone out of bounds. That was a live free ball at that point.
Live.
You never know what could have happened. We do have time for basically one play here in this first quarter. 1.9 seconds showing on the clock. Ball at the 32-yard line. Parks now with a man in motion. Still an empty backfield, though, with trips on the left and one on the right. Parks will throw, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Grace.
Well, and I tell you what, I think right there, Parks had an option to run the football or throw the football.
Didn't like what he saw up the middle and decided to throw it, but unfortunately, I don't know if it was he took this receiver by surprise or just put too much on it or whatever, but it goes incomplete. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. 12 minutes of football in the books. It's all been Titans and all on turnovers. 13-0 is the score. Back with the second quarter after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Welcome back out to Staley High School in the Kansas City Northland. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Boehm, Lee Summit West, and Staley, and the Titans on top of the Falcons 13-0. Staley with the football, 2nd and 10 from their own 32. Dawson Parks on play action with time, throws left side. He overthrew his receiver by quite a bit. It was intended for Shelton and threw into triple coverage. There was 2 safeties to help out over there.
Yeah, neither coordinators are afraid of the wind.
Well, I was just going to say, this was his first throw into the wind. You know, it was the first play of the second quarter, and he's throwing into the wind now. Interestingly enough, though, for quarterbacks will tell you, sometimes throwing into the wind is actually easier than throwing with the wind at your back.
Because it keeps carrying.
Well, yeah, it's not that, obviously it does hold the ball down for you, but it also sometimes is easier to gauge where the ball is going to be. 3rd down and 10. And again, a keeper, this time Parks, and he tries to go up the middle. The Titans have done a pretty good job on the plays up the middle.
Man, that was a bad spot. Gee whiz.
Well, they gave him forward progress up to about the 34, but still well shy of a first down. It'll set up a punting situation. And we will see the punting unit for the first time, although their punter, just like us, is their quarterback, Parks. Standing at his own 20. Low snap, he fields it and gets off a short punt into the wind. Takes a Falcon bounce, though, inside the 30 and will come to rest about the 24. That's still by far the best Titan field position they've had in about 3 drives now.
Oh, you're right. We'll take it right now.
Well, I mean, the Titans have been able to basically take advantage of 2 turnovers, and that's where they've gotten their points. It's not that their offense hasn't been able to move. They've just sort of been, backs against the wall most of the game. The one time they got good field position off of the interception, they took it in for the score, and then the other one was just a...
Well, and I'll tell you, 2 good defenses right now.
Yeah, not surprisingly. Cooper with an empty backfield to start this play, twins on either side. Now Wilson comes in motion to the right. Back to throw Cooper. He's getting a rush, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Flagging.
Again, contact. Now a late flag comes in, intended for McAtee, and Kuntz with the coverage. And again, it did look like there was contact early.
Sure did.
And this time it looks like he's going to get called for it. So pass interference against the Falcons. Fans don't like it.
Calls pass interference against the Falcons.
That's too bad.
But good for the Titans. They'll get 15 yards and a first down out to the 40-yard line. That really, it's to the 39, but that really changes the field position dramatically. And again, they've got the wind at their back now too, so in the event they do have to punt, they're not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I tell you what, on the punt block, it's kind of scaring me right now too, because it's had a couple close ones.
They've gotten close. Man in motion and the toss, and it is Baggett trying to get around the left side, and he's forced out of bounds. Did get past the 40 or right at around the 40. It'll be a gain of a yard. 2nd down and 9.
Picked up by Jalen Newberry.
And so far, really not a whole lot of success for any play that has gone outside the tackles, as far as running plays are concerned.
Just Sammy Cooper.
Yeah. Weaving from the pistol. Staley shows blitz. Now it's going to be an option. Toss is to Wilson, trying to get around the right side. Does use his speed. Did get around the right side, forced out of bounds. Positive yardage of about 2 yards down to the 42. But still, again, good pursuit by Staley. And I don't know if they think that the Staley team is slow, but they're not.
They're not slow.
They're keeping up with them just fine. Just under 11 minutes to go here in this second quarter, first half of play. Titans with a 3rd down and 7. Cooper has been pressured at times. I don't know if they'll take that into account on this play call. Trips on the left, and they do roll him out to that left side. Throws. It is caught by Baggett. And he gets to the 50 inside of Falcon territory at about the 49, but it'll be good enough for a first down. He needed the Titan 49, so he certainly got that.
Yeah. still, man, once again, I just don't think that's a very good spot.
About a yard shy of where it really was, looked like. I mean, you can see it yourselves on 810varsity.com if you're not on lswradio.com. Decide for yourself whether or not Coach is looking through rose-tinted glasses or not.
Yeah.
Wilson comes back into the pistol formation, twins on the left and right. Cooper, delayed give. Oh, he ran right into his own right tackle, Halterman.
Halterman just got blew up.
Yeah, and he then turned around and blew up Wilson.
And there's a flag.
Is this a post-play flag? It's way in the back, in the secondary. This is where that flag came from.
He's looking at West.
I'm wondering whether or not something was said, like some sort of taunt or something like that. Tell you what, the Staley coaching staff came all the way out on the field. They're still out on the field. Vinny Carswell steps up to the yard marker looking for an explanation. The call is... They're certainly going to walk it off on the Titans, and it is a personal foul against Lee Summit West. Must have happened out in the secondary away from the play. My guess is a receiver and a defensive back probably got tangled up and somebody threw somebody down or something like that.
Or was it that he saw it all the way from back there?
I doubt it. But you never know.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it had nothing to do with the play.
No.
unless you called Halterman for unnecessary roughness on Wilson. Because boy, he gave him a nice butt tackle, didn't he?
Sure did. My gosh.
I mean, he popped him. 15 yards, though, so it's second and a country mile for the Titans. And it's going to be a little Statue of Liberty trying to go around the right side. Wilson, and he's hitting the backfield and taken down for a loss. Let's see where they mark this. Again, I thought I heard whistles go off, and then the play went forward another couple yards. And this time, instead of giving him the extra yards, they're putting it back to where the whistles blew. So it'll be third and a ton. And that was just a case of bad blocking. I mean, they didn't hold their blocks.
No, they did not.
As simple as that.
They got to the edge. And in fact, if you saw the defender push the receiver back into Wilson.
Yeah. So the Titans getting manhandled a little bit this drive. Trips on the left on the third and long play. Pump fake. Cooper doesn't like what he sees. He's going to run and just go out of bounds at about the 32. No gain on the play, probably maybe even a loss of a yard, and it'll set up a punting situation. But like I said, the good news is at least they have the wind at their back punting this ball.
Man, we had such great field position right there.
Yep. Well, the 15-yard penalty was a killer, obviously.
Doesn't help.
I mean, holding is usually a killer, and this is even worse. So Cooper standing back at about his own 8-17, let's say. And there's a flag. I don't know if one of the Falcons may have leaned across the line of scrimmage. I think that may be what happens, and we'll get an offside call.
He's pointing at
but it could also have been, no, it's movement on the Titans. And that may, you never know, Coach, may be an indication of what you were talking about, concern about the blocking on these punts. Sometimes when that happens, they'll cause a false start because these blockers are trying to anticipate the snap.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So that pushes him back to his own 12 to kick from. So they should get good field position. Again, they got close, but he got it off. Pretty good kick. Fair catch called for, but then dropped. And, boy,
No.
There's a flag down. I don't know what that flag was for. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if it's because he tried to run with the ball after he called fair catch, but, once he fumbled it, David Brooks on the return. Once you fumbled it, I thought, it's a...
I thought it was live.
Yeah, live at that point. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here. There also could have been an illegal block or something.
What's the coach doing all the way out in the middle of the field?
I keep seeing that. I would love to see them, and it is a holding call or an illegal block or something against the Falcons, so boy, that's going to give them pretty horrible field position. Turns out that
is that what they call that?
Delay of game. That must be what happens when you try and run with the football after you called a fair catch. So even though he fumbled it, once he secured it, apparently the rule must be in high school that you have to.
Aren't they going to mark it off now?
I would assume so.
Because that's where
they are. So 1st and 10. On play action, throwing, and the ball comes loose. It is picked up by the Titans into the end zone, touchdown. I think they're going to rule this a fumble and not a forward pass, at least originally. The officials may talk about this. Or was it even an interception?
Cam Carswell did a great job of pressuring the quarterback there.
Did he catch it on the fly?
I don't know.
The officials are talking about it. If it stands, it'll be yet their 3rd touchdown off of a turnover. And again, the coach is way out onto the field. You know, you could fix that problem by having harsh rules, saying any coach that goes onto the field, either, you know, their team gets a 15-yard penalty for it, or the coach gets ejected or whatever. I mean, it's real easy to fix this problem.
Well, what are they going to do? Go for 2?
Looks like they're trying to figure it out.
Sammy's there. Cardell's coming out.
Play clock's down at 11. They can call timeout. I think they're going to have to at this point. Of course, your other option would be to take the delay of game penalty. The flag did come out, so unless one of the coaches called timeout and didn't make, and the officials didn't notice it or something.
Okay, I don't understand that.
You can still kick the extra point from here. There's also the possibility that the Titans think that it's easier to run a play in from outside the 5 than inside the 5 with their offense. I don't know. But they're bringing the kicking unit on. With the wind at his back, it's not like Stewart can't kick it from here.
Right.
So rather than burning a timeout,
so
they probably figured they could just kick it.
I see no timeouts up on the scoreboard, so they don't keep track of them there?
Apparently not. Well, they didn't call the time, and they marked the penalty off, so they clearly.
No, I know. I just.
Yeah. Snap back, ball down. The kick is up, plenty long, and it's good. So 8:53 to go, first half. The Titans, yet again, with points off a turnover, they lead it 20-0. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff after this on Titan Football, presentation of Backport Sports, Spec Bros Productions, and A10Varsity.com.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back out to Staley. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Boehm, Lee Summit West, and Staley, and the Titans on top of the Falcons 20-0 with all 20 points coming off of turnovers. Do we know officially if that was considered an interception or a fumble return? We don't know. I thought it was a fumble return.
I thought it was a fumble return, too.
The PA guy called it an interception, but he may not have known, as the ball with the wind at his back goes into the end zone on this kickoff.
Very nice.
Well, the old adage is all's well that ends well, Coach, and that whole sequence around the extra point, I think that's probably the best attitude we could take about it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think there for a second they were thinking about going for 2.
Yeah.
And waited a little too long, but I did hear Sterling in the mic say,
call a timeout.
So
I wonder if he knows that our crowd mic is like right next to their window. It wasn't intended to be that way. It's just is where it is. On the first down play, it is up the middle. Out to about the 22, so a pickup of 2 on the carry, and it'll be a second down play. That was, I believe, Derringer on the carry. Clock running under 8.5 minutes left to go in this first half, and the Titans on top 20-0. Parks, man in motion, and they'll toss it to him on that jet sweep.
Nice
and
job.
This time the Titans had more defenders than there were blockers, and that came in handy as Shelton tried to get around the edge. He was the one who had the big run earlier on their previous jet sweep, and this time they just strung it out pretty well.
Great tackle by Carson Peck.
So it'll be third down. He did get positive yards on it, up to the 24, pickup of about 2. It sets up a 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, Twins on the right, one man on the left. Now a man in motion is Shelton. He'll go to the left side. In the slot, takes the snap. He looks his direction, throws it in the middle, pops up incomplete. In and through the hands of Neal, the tight end. Jared Neal. And it was definitely a catchable ball. But he just,
and I tell you what, we just about picked it too.
Well, once it went through his hands, it went off his shoulder pad and then kind of pounced up in the air, and we got that little tip drill. Unfortunately, didn't come quite close enough to any defender for him to pick it off. But now it's going to be the Titans with the wind behind them, and so the Parks is going to be kicking into the wind from his own 10. Wilson standing at about the 40, really the 39. He may be giving him a little too much credit here on this kick. Of course, the Titans have an up man as well.
Whoa.
High snap. He pulls it down, kicks it. And again, it's going to bounce about the 48. Goes all the way down inside the 40 down to about the 35.
Man, that's a second bad snap for them.
Yeah. The first one was low. This one was high.
Uh-huh.
Titans will have decent field position, but they could have had better. Like I said, I thought he was playing pretty too far deep.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, the up man probably could have gone after that ball, but didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was coached not to.
Well, I tell you what, he's got a coordinator over there, special teams. I wonder if he's going to try and maybe put some heat on him next time.
We could ask. They're right over here.
Well, the special teams coordinator's down on the field.
Oh. We can still ask. 7.5 minutes left to go. Titans come out empty backfield. Cooper with Twins on either side, and now Wilson in motion to the right and movement on the front line. Left guard.
False start.
As Lewis had a little flinch, and that'll cost him 5 yards back to the 31. 1st and 15. Both teams have taken some penalties in this game.
Yeah,
but the Titans have been some pretty costly ones at times.
And we're still up 20-0.
I was just going to say, well, that's what 3 turnovers will do. We should have learned that in the first game.
Yeah.
So on 1st down and 15 from the pistol this time, Titans on play action. Cooper's going to keep it. Goes up the middle, eludes one man, still on his feet across the 45 up near midfield. Pick up a 20 yards for Sammy Cooper.
Nice job by Sammy.
Yeah. In fact, the guy who gave him the most trouble was the umpire.
I know.
Managed to get around him and got up to midfield. That was designed to be a throw over the middle, and it's on the play action. And as soon as he saw it wasn't there, he just pulled the ball down and took it himself. Quick pace as they go up the middle on the give.
Nice. We're starting to get some chunks up the middle now.
Well, we're starting to see him push the pile a little bit.
Right.
The Titans were handled physically. That was Wilson on the carry, by the way. The first part, the first quarter and a half or so, Staley looked like the stronger team. And slowly but surely the Titans are coming on a bit.
They are. It's like
Just being down 20-0 kind of tends to.
It's going to be nice to see the time of possession.
At halftime, Mark Files will join us. There's another give to Wilson. This time he's got a hole, and he breaks through across the 35 down to about the 31. Another gain of 10 plus, that one for about 14 or 15. And the Titans with a 1st and 10 moving the football, and that another time where up the middle they get a pretty good
nice
hole. Yeah.
Offensive line's really doing a nice job tonight.
6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Titans trying to score for the first time off of a straight offensive drive. They've got 20 points off of turnovers. Delayed give. Up the middle again, Wilson. Another big hole off right tackle. And he'll pick up about 8 on the play. Maybe even 9 down to the 20. Let's call it the 23, 2nd and 2. Well, you as much as anybody, Coach, know how important momentum is in a football game. And, a lot of this offensive run to me is more about Staley being discouraged as much as it is with the.
And Titans are taking it to the next level.
Again on the counter play, this time good penetration by the Staley defense and nowhere to go. Loss of a yard back to the 24.
Okay.
And it'll set up a third down about 4.
They know our misdirection is pretty good.
So Titans need near the 20 for a first down. They may be in 4-down territory, although with the wind at his back, Stewart certainly could make it from where they are now. It'd be about a 42-yard field goal from here. Pistol formation. Surratt in the backfield. And they fake to him, swing it out. It's going to be Cardell, but he is well covered on the play. A loss of a yard back to the 25, and it'll set up 4th down. And again, with the loss, that makes it probably about a 42-yarder, but there's a flag at the very end. Let's see who that's on.
Man, it looks like Cardell's down. Well, now he's back up.
But if they thought that maybe they wouldn't get off of him or something like that, if that's the call, it would be a 15-yard penalty and give the Titans a first down. The officials are discussing it right now. Clock stopped with 4.5 minutes left to go. 4:50 left to go. And it looks like they are going to walk it off against Staley. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Falcons. I don't know who specifically, but that'll cost them 15 yards. Technically, I believe it'll be half the distance to the goal and give the Titans a first down inside the red zone. So my guess is that somebody wouldn't get off of Cardell, that he just stayed on top of him.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And that's what turned into an unsportsmanlike conduct call.
I tell you what, Staley's just got to be flustered right now. They've been playing good the first 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've certainly not found themselves in this kind of a position. So 1st and 10 Titans. I don't know what they would have done on 4th down. Low snap, and it is a give around the right side. Big running room. Surratt down inside the 5, down to about the 1.
Nice run. He showed some great explosion there once he got to the edge.
And again, that time good blocking, trying to seal those edges. You know, in order for any kind of a play like that to work, you really have to hold your blocks. And there were times in the past where the Titans weren't doing that, but that time they did.
It looks like the big package is in now, Joel.
1st and goal for the Titans. Ball at about the 2. And it's Cooper looking for a lane into the end zone. Touchdown. 2nd time, Sammy Cooper.
I'm telling you what, Joel, every time this Titan team gets up on people, they play well.
They do feed off of that, don't they?
Yes, they do.
4:15 left to go here.
Okay, now it looks like they're going for it.
I was going to say, I actually expected that.
God dang it, you know everything. Son of a gun.
The offense is on the field, as you mentioned.
Joel, if you look over there on that picture over there on the sidelines, you can see what you see.
It's hard to see from this far away.
Come on now.
I can see it, but it's not clear enough to tell.
My picture up top.
It's the Royce play. The Royce package is in. So the Titans going for 2 here at 26-0. Cooper, man in motion. And Sammy will toss it back the other way. It's intercepted. Now you can't run it back. They tried, but this play will be no good. Well, I guess you're going to have a play intercepted like that. This is probably the best time to do it.
And the only person I saw out there was a lineman.
That was Nick Wright, the defensive end. And they were trying to set up a sort of screen, a misdirection play where they.
But did you see a receiver?
I didn't really notice, to be honest. I was just watching the interception. So 4:15 left to go here in the first half. Titans strike for the first time on a standard offensive run. They lead at 26-0. We'll be back with a kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Stewart stepped into it, but there was whistles. I don't know if it's because they didn't put the ball in play. I don't see flags on the field.
TV timeout.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that they just hadn't put the ball in play because this game's not being televised except by us. And that is to say, Spectrum's not going to show it till tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right. Joe, going back to the two-point conversion. We were talking while we were off air.
Yep.
I think they should have went back to the big package.
Absolutely. I mean, look how successful they've been on it today.
Yes. They've scored every time they put the big package in.
Yeah, from that kind of a distance.
Right.
So this time they do put the ball in play. Stewart has his familiarly teed up about halfway between the middle and the left hash mark, and a line drive kick will go into the end zone for a touchback.
Nice job.
I think the wind is a little bit more significant than it seems to be by the flags.
Thank you, wind.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, that's a damn good special team right there.
Touchbacks?
Yes.
Okay. So Dawson Parks and Company will come out here trailing 26-0. This 4-0 Staley squad.
Number 3 in the city.
Yeah. And, you know, the truth of the matter is this is what, you know, we've had games where we have felt like the score was not indicative of, the score was closer than the. This is a situation where the score is way more lopsided than how close the game's been.
This is very, very shocking to me.
Yeah, it's not really been that lopsided a game. Relatively evenly played. Parks gives it to Mitchell. Good tackle in the open field there by Glasgow. He's able to fall forward for about 2, but it'll set up a 2nd and 8.
The big thing here is we got to keep that goose egg up on the board going into halftime.
That'd be nice. They are going into the wind, which means that field goals will be harder. Clock is down under 4 minutes to go.
I tell you what, it's a little chilly up here.
Yep. Rolling to the right, Parks throwing right side. He's got a man. It's caught, hit, but getting out of the first tackle and then tackled almost immediately. As the pass was to McLeod, Grace was over on the coverage and kind of blew by him. But he didn't.
He hit him, but then bounced off.
Yeah, flew by him.
Luckily, we had
good pursuit.
Great pursuit.
So it'll set up a 3rd down and about 4, maybe. Let's see. They need the 35. Let's call it 3rd and long 3.
I tell you, I'd like to see us get the ball again.
Well, from the pistol. It is a give up the middle. Oh.
Just about lost it, didn't he?
Yeah, Mitchell with the carry, and he'll get a 1st down by then some across the 35 at about the 37. But, yeah, like you said, he almost lost it. But it does move the chains. An interesting call. They gave the handoff, and it was sort of a draw play, and he really sat there and waited for that hole to open up. A lot of faith in his offensive line on that play. And a give off left tackle.
Man, I tell you what, Mitchell, the last 4 weeks has been over 100-plus yards.
Flag comes out very late on that play.
Yeah, it looks like, never mind.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Titans. You know, that to me has got to be a makeup call. That is to say, one of those things, because I didn't see anybody laying on top of him or whatever, but that's the sort of thing where, well, they did it to us, so you have to call it really tight to them, because we had a call like that before.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything on that, did you?
No, I didn't. I just saw the player that they were telling to calm down.
But I think that was one of those things where we set the line.
Right.
And so now you do anything close to resembling that. So unsportsmanlike conduct 15 yards into Titan territory. Give Mitchell And he bounces off the first man. That actually, I think, was not Mitchell, and instead was Dermont Marshall, number 5, instead of number 6, with the carry. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Clock running with 2:15 left to go in the quarter. Falcons come up to the line. Man in motion is Shelton to the right. They look his direction. Now Parks will scramble to his right, throwing to the right.
Nobody there.
Yeah, out of bounds. But how is that not
there? What grounding?
They're pointing. They're pointing at a player that is 12 yards downfield. That's not even close to being
nowhere. Curtis, do that one again. I'm gonna call it out on him.
Okay. That was clear intentional ground because he was
15 yards down.
Well, and more importantly, he was being chased. So it was one of those things where it was clearly to avoid a sack. Now in the NFL, it would have been a perfectly legal play because he was outside the tackle box and he threw it. Right. But in high school, you don't have that luxury. So you have to throw it in the general vicinity of a player, and it wasn't. I mean, not even close.
Not even close.
Falcons will take their first time out.
How can you live with that call? That gummit.
They put the timeouts now. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That was the first one was called. I think that's why they never noticed they weren't up there before. 2:02. That's kind of an interesting time to burn a timeout, too, though, because the clock was already stopped on the incomplete pass. And
that was on Staley, okay.
Yeah, Staley called it, but because clearly they didn't know what they were going to do, but that's a organizational timeout, not a stop the clock timeout. All right, so after the timeout, 3rd down and 10. From the Titan 46, Parks back to throw. Looking, he'll swing it out right side. It is caught and be good for a 1st down and more. Inside the 40 down to about the 36, pass to Grace. And it'll set up a 1st and 10, stopping the clock with 1:56 left to go in the half. Not very well covered on that play.
Not at all. All that was a little swing pass.
Yeah, there was nobody anywhere close to him.
Nobody covered.
Yeah. Somebody presumably missed an assignment there. First down and 10. Back to throw Parks. He'll try and swing it out the other side this time and threw it over the head of Grace.
And once again, not covered.
Nope. Stops the clock with 1:53. Well, I guess they're consistent because if you remember before that play there was 1:56, and we're here at Staley again 7 years after quadruple overtime, and they're still consistently less than 4 seconds between plays on incomplete passes. Gotta like that.
Gotta like that.
Maybe the same guy running the clock, who knows?
I bet it is.
Yeah, you wouldn't have think that he got fired.
Well, I'm sure Fred probably did fire him.
Trying to set up a screen over the middle. It is caught.
Oh, man.
And some running room going out of bounds. Grace inside the 25 to about the 22. Down to 1:45 left to go. That'll move the chains 1st and 10. I don't know. They didn't end up losing the game, so maybe he kept his job for that reason.
Yeah.
Just took longer. 1st and 10 at the 22. Best drive of the night here so far for Staley. Grace on the carry this time. Good coverage by the Titans. Pickup of 2, but it keeps the clock moving. We're down to 1.5 minutes left to go. Falcons have 2 timeouts. The Titans have all 3 of theirs. And like I said, with the wind in the face, I don't know where the yard to gain is for a field goal attempt, honestly.
Yeah. And again, we don't know how good the kicker is for them.
Right. Parks being chased. He is sacked. Back at the 29-yard line. Led by Devin Force. along with Grace of the Titans. I'm waiting for him to throw another flag, by the way, as the Falcons do call timeout here with 1:06 left to go. And now setting up a third down in about 15 or so. Were you waiting for that? When they tackled the quarterback and didn't immediately,
get off of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the tough things about something like that. When a call like that is made and then another call is made that is sort of more egregious, is players have no idea how to behave after that. You know what I mean?
That's true. But again, the officials don't either. Keep it even.
Right. No, there's certainly no rule. I think they know they're on TV, and
I think they do.
Does that make it worse?
I think it does.
After the timeout, third down and long, probably in 4-down territory, at least from here, because I can't imagine them trying a 47-yard field goal. Into the wind. Trips on the right. Back to throw Parks. Will throw over the middle. It is caught inside the 20 at about the 19.
Got to go for it.
It was Trevor Dusenberry on the catch, and they are in that 4-down territory. It would be about a 35, 36-yard field goal from here. Parks rolling to the left side. They need to get, incomplete.
Nice.
I was going to say they need to get the 12. The throw was to the 10, but it was sort of, they had two players en route again in the same area, and he sort of threw it in between them.
Yeah, he did.
And with 39.1 seconds left to go in the half, the Titans will probably kneel it out here. I don't know. We'll see. They do have the wind at their back, but with a 26-0 lead. I think that's your favorite call, Coach. Victory O.
Victory O.
And Sammy Cooper will take a knee. The Falcons only with the one timeout, so there's really no point in calling it.
No.
Making them kneel again. They will have to kneel one more time. Well, maybe not. They're not going to put it in play.
Good job.
So that's going to be the end of the first half. The clock still has another 17 seconds to count down.
And see that. Official never did start the 25-second clock.
No, but it was academic. There's no real reason to.
You're right, but it's on TV.
So that's it. Time has expired in the first half. It's been all Titans and almost all off of turnovers. 20 points off of turnovers, 26 points total, 26-0. Our halftime score. We'll take a break. Mark Files will be with you for the halftime show when we come back here on Titan Football. A presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Have plumbing needs, whether a residential or commercial customer? Kansas City has turned to Gray Bill Plumbing since 1986. Gray Bill Plumbing strives to be the premier plumbing and mechanical contractor in the Kansas City area while offering unique solutions to general contractors, architects, designers, and homeowners. Call Gray Bill Plumbing at 913-432-9660. That's 913-432-9660. Or visit online at graybillpipeworks.com.
Don't trust the biggest investment of your life to a part-time real estate agent. Trust the #1 team in Lee Summit and the entire state, the Rob Ellerman Team. The Rob Ellerman Team is the #1 real estate team in Missouri and number 12 nationally ranked in the U.S. with $1.5 billion in career sales. They are your real estate resource for buying or selling. They get you moving. Call anytime at 816-304-4434 or visit therobellermanteam.com. That's 816-304-4434 or anytime online. The Rob Ellerman Team, a proud supporter of Lee Summit area high school athletics.
Core Civic is proud to support Lansing Athletics. Core Civic is America's leader in partnership corrections, operating over 60 facilities in nearly half of all states. Learn more about Core Civic job opportunities at corecivic.com. You can apply for a rewarding position as a correctional officer, a nurse, or a school teacher, just to name a few. Your next career could be in corrections with Core Civic. Visit corecivic.com. That's corecivic.com.
Welcome back to halftime, where the Titans are up 26-0 over the host team, the Staley Falcons. As Joel and the coach were talking in the first half, folks, this has been a crazy game tonight. A lot of defensive turnovers, a lot of great plays by the defense. The coach asked about time of possession. Well, we take into account that last drive that Staley had the ball. Time of possession for the Titans is 11 minutes, 32 seconds, and Staley's had the ball a little over 12 minutes in that first half. So it's a balanced time of possession. Now we take a look at the stats for the visiting Lee Summit West Titans. 154 yards in offense. They ran 31 plays. They're averaging 5 yards per play. They've got 28 yards passing. They're 7 of 10. 126 yards rushing, and a lot of that came on Sammy Cooper's big zigzag run. You know, that was like an old crazy leg Hirsch type run you'd see in black and white footage on the NFL network, watching him work back and forth across the different stages there on the field.
But Mark, aren't you a little shocked about the passing though?
That it's down?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think the wind has a lot to do with it. That thing's blowing out there. The flag's on top of the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out, man.
Yeah.
That makes it a little more difficult. And, you know, in the passing game that the Titans like to use is that quick slant or those little flare passes. And I think the wind's affecting that a little bit. Penalty yards, this is a big number here. The Titans have 70 yards on 8 penalties in the first half. Staley has 45 yards on 5 penalties. The other numbers that really stand out here are 3 turnovers for Staley, 2 lost fumbles, and an interception. Punting yards, it's pretty close there. There's 4 attempts for the Titans, 34-yard average. 3 punts for Staley. They've got a 45-yard average. Third down conversion, Titans are 4 of 8 for 50%, and Staley's 3 of 8 for 37.5%. And then, of course, they're 0 for 1 on 4th down. Individual stats, as we talked earlier, Sammy Cooper, 7 of 10 for 28 yards. On the rushing side, Cooper also leads the way with 76 yards on the ground on 7 attempts. He's got 2 touchdowns, and he's averaging 10.9 yards a carry. Wilson has 32 yards on 12 attempts. Surratt, 1 attempt, 17 yards, and that was the one that set up that last touchdown by the Titans. And I've got Baggett down with 1 yard on 1 attempt. Receiving yards, pretty balanced again. You got Colby Baggett with 16 yards on 3 receptions. You got Wilson with 14 yards on 3 receptions. Grant McAtee was targeted but no catches, and Trevor Cardell has 1 catch for -2 yards. That kind of hurts your per yard carry or catch.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
On the Staley side of the ball, Dawson Parks, 6 of 15 with 51 yards and a interception. Ramon Shelton has 2 attempts, 21 yards rushing. Mylan Mitchell has 19 yards on 4 attempts. Dermot Marshall has 13 yards on 4 attempts. Koa Grace has got 3 yards on 2 attempts. Joey Derringer's got 2 yards on 1 attempt, and then Dawson Parks, the quarterback, has 0 yards on 7 attempts. Receiving, Grace has 24 yards on 2 catches. Mitchell has 11 yards on 2 catches, and Trevor Doonesbury's got 11 yards on 1 catch. And that brings you up to date on all of the offensive stats. Again, the Titans are up 26-0 here at halftime. Okay, Coach, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You double duty. You handle some of the kicking balls or game balls game balls on Sunday for the Chiefs game. Yeah. You run the Ravens sideline. What kind of conversation were they having on that 2-point conversion? Because every time they showed the coach, I saw this guy that I know from Lee Summit West that just happened to be there, and the only thing I wanted to do was take a snapshot and then draw a little megaphone on your ear so you could really hear what was going on.
Well, no, as soon as Chiefs had a penalty there, they put them on the 1-yard line, and they didn't even second guess it. They said, "Look, we're going for it," and went for it. And I tell you what, our defense stepped up and held them out of there. And then they were chasing that point the rest of the game.
And it was just one of those things. It was just one of those things. It was a will over matter there,
It sure was. It sure was.
They were going to do it by God, hell or high water.
But I tell you what a hell of a game to watch, though.
It was. It was a good game. They played well. Played very well.
Well, my fantasy league quarterback did well. Lamar Jackson did well.
Oh. Did you get an autograph after the game?
No, I didn't. I was on the Chiefs side.
Okay, for that one second. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the second half keys. You're up 26-zip. Defense has played very well. Your offense hasn't been stellar, but your competition on defense is much better than what they saw the week before.
It is, and I tell you right now, Staley's going to come out. They're going to get the ball. Okay, and I think it's pivotal that our defense shuts them down. We cannot let them move the ball on us at all. And I think that's where the momentum is on our side right now, because what I said earlier with Joel is when we are winning, when we are scoring, the momentum is with us.
Do you, since West is kicking, and we're up here, the field is a north-south field, winds humming out of the south, looks like about the southeast right now, are you going to take the wind, or which end of the field are you going to take if you're Vandy Careswell?
I would take the wind.
Okay.
Because right now, with that wind, we've kicked it into the end zone every time.
So you're going to defend the south end zone, kicking it north.
Kicking it north, and put them on the 20-yard line.
All right.
Mark, I'm shocked right now.
Oh yeah, the mistake, the mental mistakes, the turnovers is
unreal.
You take those 3 scores off the board. We got a typical Staley West ball game,
Absolutely.
a 7-6 or 7-0. You know, it's a 1-score game.
And I'm telling you right now, the Staley locker room, they're in awe.
They're in awe?
They're in awe that they can't believe that they're playing.
They're in shock and awe.
Shock and awe, but they're down 26-0 to the Titans.
But you mentioned what you'd heard through the grapevine this week that Staley's a little nicked up.
They are. They've got a lot of players down, and can't remember which one's going to KU, but I heard he's out. So.
But one player does not make that big a difference. It's next man up.
It doesn't. But also the running back tonight, the Titans have really shut down because he's averaged well over 100 yards per game the last 4 weeks. And that's all the city's talking about is this running back.
Right.
For the Simone Award.
On the Missouri side. You got Tank you got Tank, and there's a Bruce that's running over at Olathe North on the Kansas side as well. So we want to make sure we give a little love to those guys. They do play football every once in a while over there. So we're down here at the Staley High School with the North Kansas City District Complex here. There's a little over 4 minutes to go here in halftime. The marching band is on the field doing their thing. We're going to take a quick break, run a couple more commercials, and then come back, talk about a couple more items, and then we will give you Joel and the coach for all the third quarter action and the rest of the second half there. You're listening to a presentation of Backport Sports, Backbros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Have plumbing needs, whether a residential or commercial customer? Kansas City has turned to Graybill Plumbing since 1986. Graybill Plumbing strives to be the premier plumbing and mechanical contractor in the Kansas City area while offering unique solutions to general contractors, architects, designers, and homeowners. Call Graybill Plumbing at 913-432-9660. That's 913-432-9660. Or visit online at graybillpipeworks.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Cryotherapy is an amazing recovery tool for athletes at all levels, and Casey Cryo in Lee Summit has the latest technology for athletes to recover in a quick and natural way. 3 minutes and a state-of-the-art nitrogen-cooled cryo chamber helps aid muscle soreness, joint pain, raises energy levels, and more. Casey Cryo also offers Normatec compression therapy, which massages sore muscles and joints to get toxins and lactic acid flushed out. Recover quicker at Casey Cryo in Lee Summit, just off 50 Highway between Chipman and 3rd, next to Genesis.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
810 Varsity takes you through the football season like never before. Watch games live throughout Kansas and Missouri and even postseason action at 810varsity.com. Plus live tournament brackets, top 25, Elite 81 All-Metro team, live scoreboard, stories, and more. Check out Kansas City's new home for high school sports coverage. 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out here to Staley in North Kansas City. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm as the Lee Summit West Titans and Staley Falcons 26-0, a halftime score, Coach. And as you said, a little surprising. I'm going to go out on a limb with a prediction here.
Okay.
And my prediction is that if the Titans get 3 more turnovers this half, they'll win the game.
Man, that's
out on a limb, isn't it?
That's awful big of you.
So, we were talking a little bit about the fact that, of course, this is a Thursday night game originally scheduled for Friday. We had, the weather forecast for tomorrow is certainly not great. We were not the only team, though, that decided to play today. Now, some of the games are actually scheduled for today, just in general. That, like, for example, Free State and Olathe East were already scheduled to play on a Thursday night game. That's not totally uncommon, but just taking a look at some of the scores, we did actually have some pretty surprising outcomes already tonight, or at least, they're still at, half like we are. But right now, Park Hill South is leading Lee Summit 21-14.
Oh, wow.
That, I believe, is a halftime score as well.
Where's that one played at?
That's at Park Hill South.
Park Hill South.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see what else we got here. A lot of the games were on the Kansas side, but not all of them. Interestingly, Gardner Edgerton 22-6 over Olathe East. Olathe East beat Free State earlier, and Gardner Edgerton lost to Lawrence High last week. Kind of an interesting triangle there. Free State is beating Shawnee Mission West 21-20 at the half there. Lee Summit North 10-0 lead over Liberty. That's just underway in the third quarter.
That's a little.
At Lee Summit North. Liberty North 35-0 over St. Joe Central. Van Horn 67-0 over Northeast, a halftime score. Fort Osage 14-0 over Oak Park. So maybe they'll get their first. Would that be their first win of the year? I think so.
No, they beat Belton.
That's right, last week. Yeah, maybe they're turning it around. Olathe West 21-0 over Shawnee Mission North. Ray-Pec and Park Hill. That's a big game today. 7-6 Ray-Pec at half.
Where's that one being played?
At Ray-Pec.
At Ray-Pec.
And let's see, Platte County 35-0 over Ray South. Raytown 42-6 over Ruskin. Olathe South 9-7 at half over Shawnee Mission South. Bishop Miege 12-7 over St. James Academy. Lone Jack 21-0 over St. Paul Lutheran. Pleasant Hill 24-14 over Warrensburg. William Chrisman 8-7 over Truman at half. And Green Valley 27-6 over Winnetonka, also halftime. And Belton is losing 76-0. Just kidding. I don't even know who they're playing. All right, so the teams are on the field. We're just about set to go for the second half. And you were talking, how important this first drive is.
Right.
And I would agree, certainly.
Well, and I tell you what, Joel, that 26 points is not good enough.
Well,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What I'm saying is it's catchable.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, like you said, if they march down the field and score some points.
And that's why I'm hoping that the Titans.
But it's even less about the actual, knowing that they could come back. It's more along the lines of what we were talking about in the first half, where in that second quarter they became more and more dejected, and the Titans were able to impose will. If you stop them on this first drive,
it's huge.
Yeah, just from that momentum standpoint, it's less about the score and more about sort of convincing your opponent that it is hopeless.
And the question that Mark asked me at halftime, would you pick the win?
They picked the win.
They picked the win.
So apparently Vinny was a good student, Mark. He did just what Royce would do. So Cole Stewart going to tee the ball up as he likes to between the middle mark and the left hash mark on the 40-yard line. And like you said, he's been able to kick it into the end zone with the wind at his back. It's also getting a little chillier as the game goes on.
It is, and you called it today in that email. Both you and Mark got long pants on, and of course I'm out here. I love it though.
You never. When you were coaching,
you didn't even think about it.
You had the shorts on until what, December, and that's and the season ends in November.
Exactly.
So that's why.
Man, I sure wish I had a Snickers right now.
Another. Usually Mark brings the whole bag of them.
They're in his truck.
Oh. Yeah, of course.
Of course.
All right, so we'll see what Staley does here after the touchback on the kickoff. We'll see what kind of an offense they come out with, too, because, if you're Staley, I don't know why you would abandon the running game at this point.
No.
And they do run on first down up the middle, trying to go off left tackle, good for about 4 yards. I believe that was Mitchell on the carry. Or maybe that was Marshall, excuse me.
Brought down by Jerome Grace.
And so it'll set up a 2nd down and 6. Pistol formation. They are playing with a little more pace here so far.
Yeah, they are.
Up the middle, and this will push the pile forward again. We saw that a little bit in the first quarter. If you remember last week when we were playing Rockbridge, it was kind of a similar situation. Rockbridge came out strong, and then the Titans sort of came back, and then they had a good first drive in the second half, but then the Titans really took it to them.
Well, I tell you what, up front right now, Staley's bringing it to the Titans.
So that kind of speaks a little bit to stamina as the run up the middle here goes for about 2. It's one of those things, is, obviously coming out to start the game or to start the half, the opponents seem to have more in the tank, and then as the game goes on, the Titans, it's not so much that they're wearing them down as much as it is they just seem to have more stamina.
And you know what? And all they're doing right now is feeding Mitchell.
2nd down, about 6. Ball's on the 37-yard line. From the pistol, a man in motion. Has an H-back, and again, they're feeding. And it's actually Marshall on the carry.
Marshall this time?
Yeah, number 5, Dermot Marshall. He'll pick up 2, and it'll be third down about 4. Let's call it 3. They're at the 40. They need the 43. Opening drive, second half. Titans on top, 26-0. They'll give it again up the middle. Oh, hit from behind, but falling forward for a first down, it looked like. On the carry up the middle was Marshall again. And that should move the chains. And they will move it. First and 10 at the Falcon 43.
And Joel, if you've noticed, Vinny really hadn't changed up his defense at all. He's been playing a 4-down lineman, basically a 4-4 look.
Has been the same case, and again the give off. They've been just running right off right tackle every play.
Every play. And getting 5 yards, 4 to 5 yards each time.
Yeah, somewhere around 4. A couple of plays that have gone for 2. Up near midfield. Now, having said that, the Titans has another give up the middle, and this should be good for another first down. This was Mitchell again on the carry. Both carries, the last 2 plays were number 6, Mylan Mitchell. So, but just before the half, the Titans did allow him to move the football, but then stiffened up when it got near the goal line.
Yes, they sure did.
And again, going into the win, you have to get really far in to even try a field goal. Mitchell up the middle, breaks a tackle. He takes himself loose down inside the 30, down to the 25. Cahill saving the touchdown. And then there's a flag at the end.
Flag on Cahill.
Well, there was a little bit of taunting going on both sides there.
Yeah, but Cahill should have got up and walked away, but he turned around, got back in his face.
So unsportsmanlike conduct against Cahill that should tack on about 13 yards, half the distance to the goal. See, now I don't understand this. Okay, they did, yeah. Half the distance to the goal, put it down at the 12-yard line. It'll be first down from there. So we'll see if the Titans defense can stiffen up here now that they're in the red zone. Nothing but runs. Here's another one up the middle. The ball's loose. Somebody from the Titans said they have it, but we're waiting for the officials. Ball definitely came loose, and no, it's going to be second down, it looks like, for Staley. One of the linemen, it looked like, came up with it. Marshall with the carry. Lost the football. There have been a couple of times that they seemed like they weren't protecting the ball that well. Mitchell earlier and then Marshall on that play. It's been a steady diet of the two of them. Marshall still in the pistol. Second down and 10. And they'll give it to him. Breaks up the middle. Inside the 10. Still on his feet. Down inside the 5. Down to about the 3. And the Titans kind of getting back to what happened in the first quarter where they just weren't finishing tackles.
I'll tell you what, the only nice thing about this right now is that Staley's eating time up.
Yeah, they are. They have eaten about 5 minutes off the clock. 4.5 or so. First and goal. They give Mitchell trying to go left side. He's hit and taken down. Loss of 2 back to the 5-yard line. Good penetration that time by the Titan defensive line.
Very nice job. But it looks like Vinny's changed it up now. He's gone to back to his 3-man line.
Well, I thought he'd gotten a first down the previous play, but apparently not. So like you said, it's 4th down.
He's brought in an extra linebacker to help stop this running back.
And it's 4th down and about 2.5. They needed about a half a yard on that play, and they lost a couple. They probably could kick a field goal from here, one would think. But down 26, they're going to go for it.
Big stand.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do if they run the ball or pass it. From the pistol, it is a give up the middle. Marshall hit, and they stopped him. The combination of Basil and Peck met Marshall I'm actually a little surprised that they went with Marshall and not Mitchell on that play. Mitchell's the bigger back.
Big stand right there.
For that big of a play, you would think you would have wanted to go with your top guy. And you don't need speed there. Although, I mean, they both have some size, but Mitchell's the bigger back. So the Titans take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 5. Huge play to stop them on the initial drive.
It was. My goodness.
From the pistol, give up the middle, over right tackle Wilson. He was able to push forward across the line of scrimmage to about the 7 or so. It'll be a pickup of a couple. Let's call it 3, 2nd down and 7. And, boy, we have now played almost half the quarter. There's 6:20 left to go, so 6 minutes is the halfway point. And we have yet to see a passing play in this quarter. Don't know that we will on this play either. Ooh. And it is a give on a great play off of the snap there by Cooper. Wilson goes up the middle. He's going to be close to a 1st down. Needed to get to the 15. Looks like they're going to mark him down a half a yard shy, which, by the way, is way out of character for this. See, I have, in the last 2 or 3 years, they've never done that. They've always given him to the yard line, no matter where he went down on plays like this. I always thought it was a new rule, or at least a new way of enforcing the rule. 3rd down, about a half a yard. Wilson in motion. He'll move back into the pistol. Cooper takes the snap, gives it to Wilson up the middle, lost a helmet, but does get that 1st down. It was a Staley player who lost the helmet.
Well, I tell you what, that was a big play by Sammy saving that snap.
That was Keever who lost his helmet, Mason Keever, I believe. And Wilson gets himself a 1st down. They only needed about a half a yard, if that. But where Staley was not able to convert, the Titans do.
They do.
And the clock continues to run. We're down to 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Titans on top 26-0. This is their first offensive possession of the 2nd half. After taking over on downs from the 3. Now here's a throw down the field, and incomplete. I don't know if Baggett realized how close that ball was to him, because he didn't even reach out for it. Little alligator arm, so to speak. But, I mean, usually
and it almost looked like he slowed down.
Right. Well, I mean, I thought that he looked at, they just felt like the ball was way overthrown because he kind of gave up on the play and never reached out for the ball, and it almost hit him anyway. First pass of the quarter, of the half even. 2nd down and 10. Now it's Cooper over the middle. It's caught by Cardell right up the middle of the field on that little skinny post. Got across the 30 up to about the 39.
I was just getting ready to ask, where's Cardell?
That was his first catch of the game.
I know.
19 yards. And 1st and 10 from the 49. Cooper. It'll be a keeper up the middle. And we get a flag at the very end of the play.
Now that's from the sideline guy.
Yeah. It was a gain of about 8. Don't believe the...
Oh, my gosh.
What is the call?
Personal foul.
For what?
I have no idea.
That's got its own signal. Tell you what, I'm pretty sure the Titan coaching staff does not agree with the call. They seem to be a little upset. They're going to mark it off from about the end of the run. Or, well, now they're marking it off from the 42.
What they called there, they called away from the play, offensive holding on our receivers.
Okay.
Away from the play.
All right.
That doesn't make sense.
No. And the question is, though, why would the ball be all the way back at the... I mean, wouldn't that be a spot foul from wherever the hold was?
Because the flag was way up
Yeah.
45, wasn't it?
It was. I think that's what Vinny Carswell may be asking the official right now. Because it's not only did they not do it from the line of scrimmage, they did it from behind the line of scrimmage. Because it's first and like 22 from where the ball is. So, clock is running down to under 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Twins on either side. Surratt in the pistol behind Cooper, who throws, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. Russo was the intended target, ran into the coverage man, and it was almost picked off. Set up a second down.
Man, it's still confusing.
Yeah, this is the second straight week that you can really question the crew. Twins on the left, one man on the right, pistol formation for the Titans. Cooper back to throw with lots of time. He's got all day back there. Now he'll throw over the middle. He's got a man. It's caught. Baggett up near midfield. Across down inside the 45, down to the 43, 42-yard line.
Nice makeup.
Colby Baggett.
I tell you what, he was open.
Well, all that time that he had to throw.
That was beautiful.
I mean, you can't cover someone forever.
No.
Moves the chains all the way into Falcon territory. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. First and 10 Titans from the Falcon 42. Pistol formation, and it's a give. Delay on to Wilson. Breaks a tackle, gets across the 30. Still on his feet down to about the 25. Hit and tackled there. Moves the chains again after a gain of about 17 yards.
Joel, if you went back to that last play, Cardell was even over the top wide open.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have put a little bit more underneath that.
Maybe he just underthrew it.
Well,
and it just happened to go right into his hands.
No,
it was a great toss right to Baggett.
Line shot.
Yeah. And that was a good run right there for Wilson. Good job of sidestepping off right tackle. And again, over the middle on the slant and incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Russo, again, had it in his hands and was not able to hang on. The first time he was just ran into somebody else. That time he took a hit, but he could have hung on to it and didn't. Second and 10. 3:27 left to go here in this third quarter of play. Cooper from the pistol. Twins on either side. Man in motion, and it's a give. No, it's a play action. And Cooper looking left side. He's being chased, throws, and it's Cardell. Managed to come down with it inside the 15 at about the 11.
Goodness, what a catch.
Trevor Cardell was hit as the ball hit off his fingertips, somehow managed to hang on to it. And it'll be first and 10 for the Titans just outside of the 10-yard line.
I've heard today that KU is going to turn him into a tight end because he's getting so big.
I've heard that too. I do think he needs to fill out a little more for that to happen, but I think he probably will.
Well, I tell you what, his lower extremes look great.
Titans, first and 10 from the 11. Cooper from the pistol. Has Wilson right behind him. Takes the snap. Run pass option. He'll roll to the right side, looking to throw. He pulls up, eludes one man, and pushes forward inside the 10 down to about the 6. Boy, he could have run right out of bounds at about the 8.
He could have.
And decided to go up the...
Smart.
Kept the clock running and also gained about another 2 yards.
All right, big package when you're coming in.
Clock running with 2:33 left to go here in the quarter. Second down.
Joel.
Yes?
It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and there's only been 2 possessions of this quarter.
Well, it's been, for the most part, runs.
Yes.
Staley did nothing but run the ball. Couldn't convert on a fourth down inside the 5. For the Titans, it's second and about 4. And it's Wilson up the middle. He was tripped up as he got to the 5, fell forward.
Might be first down.
Down to about the 2. I think he's about a yard shy. It'll set up a 3rd down and short from there. Inside 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. So if you don't get it, you go for it?
Why not?
Because you need a touchdown and a field goal to get the clock running?
Oh, I see.
How about we make it a moot point?
Moot.
It is a give. Wilson up the middle. Touchdown.
Yes.
Touchdown Titans. Taylor Wilson from about 2 yards out. With 1:21 left to go, 3rd quarter. Titans extend their lead, 32-0. Extra point to come.
Man, I'm telling you, man, this is just shocking me more and more.
Well, this is one of those things that, again, when people look at the score the next day and haven't seen the game,
right,
they're not going to understand what kind of game it was.
Man, it looks like the Staley crowd here is heading home.
Well, it is a school night.
Damn good.
Cole Stewart out for the extra point. No point in going for 2 to make it 34.
No.
Snap back, ball down, kick high, long, and good. 1:21 to go here in this 3rd quarter of play. The Titans extend their lead 33-0 here from Staley. This is Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Welcome back out to Staley High School in the northland of Kansas City. Joel Becker, Coach Royce Bain, Lee Summit West, and Staley. Titans on top of the Falcons, 33-0. 1:21 left to go here in the 3rd quarter of play. Stewart with the ball teed up on the 40-yard line, still with the wind at his back. And talk about a demoralizing set of drives. As Stewart's kick will come down in play, and it's fumbled out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Another, their special teams today have come up with some pretty big plays.
Just see him spot that at the 8.
Okay.
Jeez.
Gave him an extra yard. But at any rate, like you were talking about, the Falcons drove down the field, but the Titans came up with a big defensive stand, stopped them on downs, and then when all was said and done, they then took the ball over at the 5-yard line, drive down the field, and score a touchdown. I mean, talk about demoralizing.
Oh, big time.
And then you add to that they're now starting from their own 8-yard line. 1st and 10 for a team that really didn't throw the ball very much. They didn't throw the ball at all in the first drive. And it's going to be Parks keeping it. He was hit and pushed backwards. Failed to get to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of about 2, maybe 3. They're going to give him forward progress to the 6 and set up a 2nd down and 12. Under a minute now left to go in this 3rd quarter. Carswell got some penetration on that play. On 2nd and long, Parks with a man in motion. Fake to him, gives off left tackle. A good job hanging on. Now we get a flag at the very end.
Face mask or
it was
collar.
Mitchell on the carry.
Called collar.
A horse collar?
Yes.
That was Basil on the tackle. I thought he did a great job of hanging
Face
on.
mask.
Did they show the personal foul or just the 5-yard variety? From where they're running off to, I'd say it's the personal foul. How many 15-yard penalties now is that?
4.
35 seconds to go in the quarter. Parks on play action, throwing over the middle. He's got Shelton. It is knocked away. Good coverage by Cahill. There's a flag out. 2 flags. I have no idea what they may have seen there. I mean, seriously. I didn't see any contact at all.
Nothing.
He did a great job of reaching back and knocking the ball out of the way. They're calling defensive pass interference. I would love to see a replay of that. I swear, I did not see any contact at all. It's not, and there's 2 flags out there, not even just 1. Now, they're a lot closer than I am, I'll give you that. And sometimes you don't see it in real time. Yet another 15-yard penalty on the pass interference. First and 10 from the 42. Man in motion from the pistol. Give up the middle. Mitchell trying to go left side. Force got in his way. And a trio of Titans take him down about the 45. It'll be a pickup of 3. You know, it's amazing. The Titans are leading in this game 33-0 despite having to fight through the scenario here
of the officials.
Yeah. Now, having said that, they also have been the beneficiary of, 20 turnover points.
Right.
But still, that's just amazing. 12 minutes of football left to go here at Staley High School. Titans on top, 33-0. Back with the fourth quarter after this on Titan Football. Presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Don't trust the biggest investment of your life to a part-time real estate agent. Trust the #1 team in Lee Summit and the entire state, the Rob Ellerman Team. The Rob Ellerman Team is the #1 real estate team in Missouri and number 12 nationally ranked in the U.S. with $1.5 billion in career sales. They are your real estate resource for buying or selling. They get you moving. Call anytime at 816-304-4434 or visit therobellermanteam.com. That's 816-304-4434 or anytime online. The Rob Ellerman Team, a proud supporter of Lee Summit area high school athletics.
Welcome back out here to Staley. Joel Becker and Roach Boehm. So, Mark, I don't know. Could you see that on video? Because I try and be fair to the officials. I don't like to call people out, or look at things through some sort of Homer goggles or anything like that. I literally didn't see any contact. Did you? Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't nuts. Yeah, but that's not pass interference. That would have been illegal contact at worst. All right, so we're ready to go here, fourth quarter. Titans do still enjoy a 33-0 lead. And it'll be a give. Grace trying to get around the corner and has nowhere to go. And runs out of bounds. Not much of a gain on the play. Set up a third down, third and about 8. The only thing about that is that, when, like I said, I hate making the officials part of a broadcast. It's so much better if you can just not talk about them.
No, you're right.
But what really does though tend to bother me is when you do, when you're forced to, the lack of repercussions there are in the future about that.
Well, then it's also gives momentum.
Overthrown football down on the left sideline. Shelton, the intended receiver. We'll see if I wouldn't be surprised if the Staley just goes for it here. Why wouldn't you? Fourth down and about 8, maybe 7. It looks like they're bringing their kicking team in. Fourth quarter down 33-0. At midfield, I would have just gone for it, wouldn't you?
I think so.
I mean, kicking it away is essentially conceding it at this point.
Who knows? It could be a fake here.
Well, anything is possible. Like we mentioned, the quarterback, Parks, is the punter, so he certainly is capable. And he fields another good snap, but he does kick it away high. With the wind at his back, it takes a Titan bounce. Down inside the 20, though. And the Titans will take over, but remember, the last time they got the ball, it was on their own 5, and they marched 95 yards for a touchdown. So, to me, if I'm Staley, why would you just go for it there?
Yeah.
guess you're just telling your kids you're not giving up yet.
I don't know. That feels to me like you are giving up if you kick it. So we'll see what the Titans do here. Presumably we'll see a steady diet of running plays, but you never know. 1st and 10. They did mark him right about the 20, and it is a give. Wilson up the middle, breaks one tackle. He's hit as he gets to the 24. That'll be a pickup of 3.5 or 4.
I think he's going to learn his lesson there to keep his feet on the ground, because once you leave the ground, it's a bad tackle. I mean, hurting tackle.
Plus, you lose your chi, right?
Yeah.
So says Mr. Miyagi. Twins on either side. 2nd down and about 6. And it's going to be Wilson again trying to get around the left side. He just runs out of bounds. It's unfortunate. Rather see him not do that. Stopping the clock with 10:57 left to go. But pickup of a yard or two up to the 25 will be 3rd and 5 from there. Still plenty windy.
Oh, it sure is. I think.
Well, a lot of people thought probably that when the sun went down, the wind might die down. But that has not happened. Back to throw Cooper, getting a rush up the middle, throws, and incomplete. Now there's a flag this time. This is, I think, going to be defensive pass interference. It looked like a hold to me.
No, I tell you what, I bet you it's picking.
Offensive pass interference?
Uh-huh. I bet it's picking.
Well, we'll see. Laundry on the field. We're waiting for the indication. I would say if that's the call, they'll decline it. It's defensive holding. That's what I kind of thought. Although I honestly, the funny thing is that while it looked like, I said it looked like a defensive hold to me,
yes.
I still think that was the wrong call. I think you still call pass interference because the ball was in the air. The only reason why I think they didn't was because the person who was being held wasn't the intended target. But regardless, it should cost them 10 yards and a 1st down for Staley. Up to the 35, 1st and 10 Titans. We're down to 10:52 to go in regulation time. Titans need a field goal to get the clock running. Cooper over the middle. It's got Baggett. He makes the catch, makes a little spin move to get around the initial tackle. There's a flag down for an illegal block as he gets inside the 35 down to about the 30. But this is.
Did you see it?
I didn't, honestly.
I didn't
but the 2 flags came flying out. There had to have been something there. I must admit I wasn't looking. I was watching the run, not the blocking. It is going to be a hold against the Titans from the spot of the foul, which is about the 36 or so based on where the flag was. Looks like they're marking it from the 34, so it puts on the 44. Still gives the Titans a 1st down and a gain of about 17 on the play.
I tell you what, I think these officials know they're on TV.
Yeah, but why would you?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They want to be seen.
Okay. I've been an official, not in football.
I know.
I never wanted to be seen.
No. Still a 1st down.
It's very hard for me to blend into the background, but. Throw. Surratt with the catch on the swing pass.
Oh, my gosh, Curtis.
More laundry on the field as he gets up to about the 41. Maybe they just want to make the game take a lot longer. Because all of these penalties, that's all it's really doing. I mean, it's 33-0. I wonder if the Spectrum people are allowed to request officiating crews.
Oh, no kidding.
So they say, well, we don't want these guys because they make our games take too long.
Well, it was going fast.
I know. So the holding call from the point of the infraction takes it back to the 49 of the Falcons. So it'll be first down and about 14 after the penalty. Clock's running with 10:15 left to go. Twins on either side. And it is a keeper on the RPO. Cooper will gain about a yard. Probably not the right decision that time.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't know what he was reading on that one.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that anything he had done would have caused a positive play to happen. I think if he hands it to Surratt, he gets tackled too, but better him than him. Unfortunately, now it's Stewart that's going to be kicking into the wind as far as that field goal is concerned. Safety would do it too, but they'd have to get possession of the football. Cooper eludes one man, rolls out to the left side. He'll pull the ball down and run. Gets up the middle of the field. Again comes across. He's got some big running room inside of the 30, 25, 20. Hit at the 15 and tackled at about the 12. Sammy Cooper for the second time in the game with a little slash job.
Can you believe this? We're going to see a 35 and a running clock on Staley?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was going to bring that up a little bit earlier that, you know, this season has been weird that way. Remember in Fort O, we were talking about the fact that, you know, we had a running clock against Fort Osage. We'd never seen that before, but Fort Osage is having a down year. Staley is not.
No.
And we may see a running clock. Up the middle, Wilson breaks the tackle, touchdown. Was able to pull out away from Kirkwood, who had a grab on his jersey, but that time he did leave the earth. Did Taylor Wilson, and managed to make it work for him.
He did. You're right. He did on that one. He left the earth, and without doing that, you're right.
So how about that? 39-0 with the extra point to come. And 9 minutes left to go in the quarter. By far the most lopsided score against Staley. Like I said, we haven't met them. We met them last year, and then the last time we met them before that was 2013.
Yeah.
And so we only have met them about 5 times. We're actually 4-1 against them. The only loss we've ever had to Staley was the 76-74 overtime game.
Right.
But they've all been pretty close for the most part.
Yes, they have. Even the ESPN game was.
Yeah, 8:57 left to go here in the regulation time. 40-0. Titans on top. Back with the kickoff after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Welcome back out to the Kansas City Northland. Joel Becker and Coach Royce Boehm. Lee Summit West, Staley, 40-0 Titans as Stewart just kicks it right out of bounds. That wasn't even close.
No.
I think he was targeting one of the coaches he doesn't like over there. You think?
Maybe. Special teams coach? What?
Think they'll make him kick it again? Like they did the last time? I'm thinking not this time.
Now that there's a running clock, I don't think so.
Not to mention that it actually, he actually kicked it out of bounds at such a sharp angle, it didn't even get to the 35. So they're actually going to mark it where it went out of bounds at the 36. And no, they're not going to make him kick it again. As you mentioned, the clock is running. Pits, tips, whatever you like to call it. Penalties, timeouts, injuries, and scores are the only things that stop the clock at this point. So we're down to 8:15 and counting. And they haven't even put the ball in play yet. So on the first down play, it is a run up the middle. Good for about 5 yards. Mitchell with the carry. Staley does have their ones still in there, if you were wondering.
And so does the Titans.
Yeah. Can you remember during your coaching career with this team a game like this one?
No.
Me neither.
No. I mean, anything, the closest I would say would have been the ESPN game with Staley, where we kind of handed it to him there.
I'm not just talking about with Staley.
No.
I mean with anybody.
Oh, I know.
You know, where it was a relatively even matchup going in, where you expected it to be a tight game, and it ended up being just a total blowout. Although, again, it's a little misleading. Although I do think that as the game has gone on, the Titans have shown themselves to be the better team tonight. I still think it's closer than a 40-0 score would indicate. That pass over the middle, incomplete, overthrown. And it is now 3rd down and about 6. Back to throw is Parks. She'll throw left side and incomplete, overthrowing Grace, the intended target. 4th down, and one would think they will kick it away with the clock running at 6:25. I would bet that we will see the Titans 2s come out on offense when they get the ball.
I would say so.
Park standing back at his 26. Boy, he fielded a good ground ball. And the Titans will let this ball bounce. It's going to go inside the 10. Boy, they have gotten some really good kicks.
Yes, they have. Especially with the wind at their back right there.
Yeah.
Clock's still running though, baby.
Yep. 5:40 and counting. We're down to 5:35 now. Titans obviously in no hurry to get out there. I don't know, just taking a quick look out there, there's still at least some ones that are on the ready to run out. Let's see. Surratt. And yep, we are seeing the 2s as Keeney is out to take the snap with Surratt behind him in the pistol. From the 11, toss to Surratt. Looking for some running room, finds a hole. There's a flag down.
Jeez.
As he gets out to the 19. This is almost getting comical.
It is. Gosh.
Stops the clock with 4:54 left to go. Holding against the Titans. It'll be half the distance to the goal and set up a 1st down at about 13 or so. Down to 4.5 minutes to go in regulation time. Titans on top 40-0. At least Keeney is using up the play clock this week.
Yes, he is.
Takes the snap and gives. Surratt right side, big huge hole. Gets across the 20, drags to the 25. They're going for the strip, but he does a good job protecting the football. Gets a 1st down with a gain of nearly 20. Out to the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Titans, and the clock running under 4 minutes left to go.
That's 2-4-8, Titans 1st down.
Well, it's homecoming next week.
Broncos are coming to town.
Boy, you would have hated that, to not only have a homecoming, but to have a cross-district rival
I would not like
on
that.
homecoming.
No, And I know Vinny was very, very frustrated when he had to make a decision.
Surratt trying to get around the edge on the left side. He's being chased by Marshall. Pulled down, no gain on the play.
Yeah, he had a couple choices. He called me. He had a couple choices which homecoming game he wanted. And
is there any like specific rules about that as to which game has to be designated homecoming? I mean, they used to.
Oh no, he got to pick between I think 2 or 3.
Okay.
That he got to pick between. And where do we play Blue Springs? We played them at home?
Well, no, we play them on the road.
On the road.
Yeah. That's the thing. We only had 4 games. There are only 4 games.
That's what it was. North or Ray-Pac.
Surratt with the carry, looking to go around left side, breaks a tackle, and is knocked out of bounds around the 30. The good news is getting knocked out of bounds doesn't mean anything anymore.
Doesn't mean a thing.
We're down to 2:20 and counting. Yeah, with only 4 home games, the first one can't be homecoming, and the last one can't be homecoming because that's your senior night.
Right.
So you really only have 2 games to choose from. And so it was North and Ray-Pac, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want it to be Ray-Pac either, but
yeah.
that's why it's nice to be a college team and you can just schedule a
whenever you want.
A non-conference type thing if you want. Surratt going right side on 3rd down. Able to get to about the 31, but no further, and so the Titans should have to punt here. We're down to less than 90 seconds left to go. As you can't, but I can see Sterling trying to hold them off from punting the ball too quickly.
Yeah.
Not sure if he was talking to his team or the officials as far as when they were going to put the ball in play. Because we're down under a minute, or we will be before they kick it. Cooper is out. They may be going to call it. They may call their timeout. I don't know. Plays down to 5. I think they will because they didn't have the right number of players on. So they'll call timeout with 53 seconds left to go. And then Cooper will be kicking it into the wind. It's nice when mistakes that really shouldn't happen don't really cost you much.
Huh? I've heard about it.
What's Sterling have to say?
He goes, did you see your picture?
So you're a special teams pitcher.
Who knows? Who knows? I guess I should just be honored.
Yes, of course. At least this is a good picture.
Yeah, and it's a good win.
That's good. All right, so after the timeout, Sammy Cooper standing about his own 17 to kick this away. Still do have to defend him because remember they've come close a few times on punts. Bit of a high snap. Kicks it high and
Not
short.
A good one, not a good one.
Well, it's into the wind, and it's going to take a Falcon bounce. The Titans finally chase it down and down it at about the 44, 43. The good news is, though, there's only half a minute. They may not run another play.
No, they don't need to.
I don't think they're gonna.
Don't set it yet. Now.
So they put they haven't even bothered to put the play clock into play. It does not look like Staley is going to run another play. Game clock is down at 13 seconds.
I tell you what, nothing went right for Staley tonight.
Yeah, like I said, the score is not going to be indicative of the level of play. This is one of those things where when people are going to look at the score of this game later on, they're going to wonder what happened. 40-0 the final. The Titans on top of the Staley Falcons. Just a good old-fashioned whipping tonight.
Good old-fashioned whipping and bad officiating.
Well, and they were helped out. I mean, Staley, 3 turnovers. The first 3 touchdowns the Titans got They had a 20-0 lead all on turnovers before anything really went. That's half the points they got.
Yeah.
And then they just kept extending it further and further on. We'll take a break and come back for a postgame coming up after this. 40-0 the final. Titans on top of the Falcons here on Titan Football. Presentation of Backcourt Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Cryotherapy is an amazing recovery tool for athletes at all levels, and Casey Cryo in Lee Summit has the latest technology for athletes to recover in a quick and natural way. 3 minutes and a state-of-the-art nitrogen-cooled cryo chamber helps aid muscle soreness, joint pain, raises energy levels, and more. Casey Cryo also offers Normatec compression therapy, which massages sore muscles and joints to get toxins and lactic acid flushed out. Recover quicker at Casey Cryo in Lee Summit, just off 50 Highway between Chipman and 3rd, next to Genesis.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out here to Staley High School in the Kansas City Northland. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm as the Lee Summit West Titans take down the Staley Falcons 40-0, the final score in this one. As we talked about, actually, oddly enough, this was a very symmetrical game. We had 13 points in each of the first 2 quarters, 7 points in each of the last 2 quarters for the Titans. They got all the scoring in. The first 20 points off of turnovers, the second 20 points off of the offense. And like I said, when all is said and done, there are a lot of people that are going to look at this score and wonder what the heck happened tonight.
I'm telling you, they're going to wonder what the heck happened tonight. This is honestly, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
It's twice in one season where we've had just complete blowouts against teams that have always played us close. I mean, like I said before, there was a game that in the past against Fort Osage that we won 39-9, but people forget that game was 10-9 at halftime, and the Titans just kind of extended away later. This one was, over early, mostly because of Staley turning the ball over.
And Joel, once again, you see the Titans get up on top, and the momentum is there. The first week against Park Hill, we weren't on top.
No.
And we shut it down.
Well, and that was just such a sloppy game. I almost discount that game entirely because of, look at all the mistakes that Sammy Cooper, for example, made in that game. Threw, 3 interceptions?
Well, and I tell you what, honestly, they said he was hitting the head, concussion.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So, I tend to discount that game a little bit. At the same time, though, I think that, there are going to be people that are going to look at these scores and expect big things out of the Titans. And hopefully they'll be able to provide them, but I don't know that the scores are indicative of where they really are.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Now you're thinking about Lee Summit North, what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming to our place for homecoming, and of course, they're going to use that. Oh, we're the Podunk team. We're their homecoming game. That's why they have us, and they're going to use that against them. Now,
maybe they are.
I'm hoping that this Titans team, they can go enjoy this win, enjoy the day off tomorrow, but focus. It's homecoming week, okay? But they have to play the game. Let everybody else celebrate. And I think Vinny and his coaching staff will make sure that happens.
Just trying to take a quick look and see what is going on in Bronco land for tonight. You know,
my brother Sid said, check out the scores.
28-21 Park Hill South over Lee Summit in the third quarter. Just so you, and 27-14 North over Liberty with about 2 minutes left to go in that game. So it looks like they're going to beat Liberty and be going into our homecoming game with a little momentum.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
So, I don't know.
And that one shocks me.
Liberty's a pretty good team.
Liberty's a really good team.
Liberty North is playing very well. They beat St. Joe Central 42-7 tonight.
And St. Joe Central's having a tough year.
Yeah, they are. Interestingly, Van Horn was on top of Northeast 67-0 at halftime. They kept that score. It's now a final at 67-0. They just, it's like I think they probably just stood there and let the clock run out.
I bet they did.
So actually, it's now Park Hill and Ray-Pec 13-10 Park Hill with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Raytown on top of Ruskin 48-6. Again, a lot of games being played tonight instead of tomorrow. There's still a full slate of games tomorrow, though. Some of those games, though, have been moved up.
Right, to 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was listening to Brian Busby before I left the house, and he said the storm's supposed to be in here by 4.
Yeah, it'll be there earlier than that. I'm surprised they didn't try and schedule them at like 3 or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see. On the Kansas side, by the way, Blue Valley West and Blue Valley North are in overtime at 11 apiece. Odd score, isn't it?
That is very odd.
So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So player of the game.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Oh, yeah, it's Bill Warner.
Bill Warner. Sammy.
He had amazing game today.
Amazing game. Great leadership.
The 2 slash runs that he had were really game changers, actually.
They were.
Managed to dig the Titans out of some pretty good holes. He threw the ball pretty well despite the win tonight. And he didn't have a ton of help from his receiving corps. He had a few drops today.
Yeah, he did.
You got the stats?
Yeah, sure. I've got these from Mark Files, the guy sitting back behind you there. Hey, really big difference of stats from the first half.
Imagine that.
Total offense for Lee Summit West, 373. Staley, 184. Number of plays, 55 each.
Talk about a misleading stat.
Oh, I know.
40-0 game, and they had exactly the same number of plays.
It is crazy.
But like I said, 3 turnovers.
Passing, Lee Summit West, 126. Staley, 51. Rushing, 247 for Lee Summit West, 133.
You say we only had 51 yards passing?
We had 126 passing.
Oh, okay.
They had 51.
Okay.
They only had 133 rushing. Receiving 126. Penalty yards. Titans have got to get better on this one. 15 penalties for 155 yards.
Wow.
Staley, 6 penalties for 55 yards. Turnovers.
I have a new theory on that, by the way. I think that the Spectrum people told the officials before the game that they needed to fill up a certain amount of airtime. And they said if the game starts to go, it looks like it's going to be a blowout in the second half, you're going to just have to start throwing a lot of penalties to stretch it out so that we don't run out of time.
Here's the big one. Here's the big one tonight.
Yeah.
Turnovers, Lee Summit West, 0. Vinny talked about it the pregame.
Yeah.
And Staley, 3 turnovers, and all turned into scores.
Yeah, and they were all early in the game, too, which made a big difference because it made it a 20-0 game.
Time of possession tonight.
So, by the way, when we talk about player of the game, although I agree with you, it's got to be Sammy. As far as giving shouts out to people, our defense did a great job of taking the ball away.
Did a great job.
And put up a goose egg.
And honestly, we could give it to the entire defense for putting up that goose egg.
Yeah.
Because that, especially against this number 3 Staley team.
I'd say this was Cahill's best game of the year, easy,
sure,
without even not even close.
Especially with his pass interference.
Well, I mean, there was a phantom pass interference called, but I thought, for example, on that play, that was great coverage. If you remember, first of all, there was no contact, and second of all, he reached up and knocked the ball away.
Right.
But I'm, of course, referring to he had a fumble return for a touchdown, and his coverage was good on the game.
Very good. Time of possession tonight, Lee Summit West Titans 25 minutes and 14 seconds, and Staley was 21:47.
All right. So those are your stats. Player of the game, Sammy Cooper. Next week is homecoming. When's the parade?
Thursday, so
it's a week from today.
Yep.
And what float are you going to be on, Coach?
Yeah.
What are we hearing?
They've changed it now?
It's going to be.
They better not. Yes, I had it changed to Thursday just so we could keep our focus.
And again, what float are you going to be on?
The truck, semi, front seat.
They should have like a special
for you and I and Mark,
former coaches.
And Ethan. Hey, I'll put you in the back of the truck. Hey, we could do that and put our headsets on. Hey.
Now I think there should be a special former coaches float. You get Bill Warner, you get Royce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the AD up there. That would be fun. All right, so that will be next week, homecoming. Obviously, we'd love to see you out there at Titan Stadium, but if you can't make it, you can always watch all the action out at 810varsity.com or on lswradio.com for audio only. Again, the final score tonight, 40-0. The Titans taking it to the Staley Falcons. Easily their most lopsided victory over Staley in team history. Thanks going out to our executive producer, Mark Files, and our intern, Ethan the Kid, and
the Kid.
Royce Bain, my partner, Joel Becker here from Staley High School in the Kansas City Northland. This is Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.